it's okay to stop, but don't quit. Alright legends, welcome along to, I'm going to say, day one of the real recovery right here. What I have to do this morning is renew the sick line, as it would be called here, for work for another couple or 3 weeks maybe. At this stage I am getting to the point of this back injury, this flare up, where it's starting to come around slightly. It's not just as bad as it was, but having said that in my experience over, like, I've had this for years now, the moment you start to think to yourself that this isn't feeling too bad, I could go back to work or I could do more, that's usually the point where you're going to do something incredibly stupid and set yourself back months again. This is the crucial part right now. So we'll take care of that first, and then we'll see where the rest of the day takes us. Alright, so I'm just back out from the doctor. She recommended that I take another 3 weeks. So financially it's not going to be the best option, but you know, what is the good really at the end of the day of making money if you have to sacrifice your health for it? I'm just not there anymore. Years ago I would have done it, drove myself into the ground for a paycheck, but not anymore. I'm 45 years old now, and this is a condition I'm in at 45. And yes, if I don't be proactive in my own health, you know, nobody else is going to do it for me. So I'm going to take the 3 weeks, and I'm going to take this time to actually put a little bit more exercise into place, targeted exercise. Well, let me get to work and drop this paperwork into them, and then I'll explain more when we get home. Alright, so I just dropped the line off of the doctor, and on my way back down, this just goes to prove the point that when you're dealing with an injury to the spine, you never know exactly when it's going to kick off and how badly it's going to kick off. So I was driving back down home. I pass this little place, Rubens Glen, on the way to work every day. So the nerve in the back is on fire right now, just right down at the base of the spine on the left side here. And I thought, okay, I'll stop off, come down on here, stretch the legs a little bit. I'm taking a little bit of the scenery, and yeah, just take a moment to chill out, and yeah, just stretch the leg out. That's frustrating. I'm not going to lie, it is absolutely 110% frustrating, because, as I said, you know, you can do quite a bit, but you don't know where the cut-off is at. But what I'm going to do is some targeted exercise this week. In the next 3 weeks, I'm off work for 3 weeks now, and I'm going to target the base of the back as far as stretches go. Some light stretching, some light weights and whatnot. Try and cut the eating down a little bit, and get on that stepper, and try and drop as much weight as I can over the next 3 weeks, and put as much work into the base of the back as possible to try and build that core strength back up again, because that's where you're killed at as well. When you do something, I guess, flare up one of these injuries, you tend to just stop everything you do normally, because that's only natural. You're in pain, you stop, and you stop doing the thing that hurt you. That's just human nature. It is what it is. But the downside to that is, leave that long enough with a back injury and it's going to cause you more trouble in the long run. So I made that mistake first time around. at one point, I wouldn't say I was ever in fantastic shape, but I'm not. At one point I wasn't a tubby guy. I was always fairly chunky growing up, big guy. But at one point I had it all off. Never got as far as getting the six pack. I don't know, but in my family you're kind of constantly fighting against that belly. It's almost a genetic trait for my family to be chunky around the midsection. So I'm fighting genetics as well, but it is what it is. I'm frustrated. I am frustrated, I'm not going to lie. You can't help but think to yourself in these circumstances about finances and bill paying and whatnot. That's the downside to modern life and the entire system. Everything is set up around cash and paying bills and whatnot, and then when you're down and out, I guess for a while, that's completely off the table. That is for me at the moment anyway. But again, it is what it is, and I'm through putting my starting to repeat myself a lot in these videos, but I'm beyond putting my own physical health on the line for anything right now. I was just saying to a friend at the weekend, we were out for a walk. Me and my best friend hang out every Saturday if possible, and we'll head out, get a bite to eat, go for a little walk. She's been very supportive throughout this whole thing, it's been great. But a couple of times we were out walking and you see this couple coming, slightly older than me, and this guy had a massive limp, and I said there, am I limping as bad as that? And she's like, no, nowhere near it. But you know, when you see someone that's dealing with a permanent injury and it's got them themselves, it's got them to the point where they're physically having so much trouble doing the simplest thing. I don't want to get to that point. I want to try and do my best to work with this injury, get over it properly this time, and that's where I made the mistake in the past as well. I got too ahead of myself. The first time in particular that this really kicked off bad was way back, probably 16 years ago at this point, and I went off for a month and a half, something like that there, and then the medical, I want to say medical nurse of the company that I was working for, she forced me back in before it was my time. If I had have taken another couple of weeks at that point, I might have recovered properly, got to work with it right, but went back, done more damage than was really necessary to do to myself. And again, it's all down to modern life and finances and paying bills and whatnot. Past it, 45 years old now. I don't want to be spending my retirement years in agony every day of the week. So what I need to do is what I was doing for years there, is exercising, getting the weight off, working with the injury instead of doing nothing at all. So anything I want you to take from this video is, it's okay to stop, but don't quit. Right, well, I was planning on doing a few other things for the video today as far as getting into the light exercise, but I just realised I talked far too much in this video at this point. But yeah, it's nice to get out for a change and check out some of that scenery. We don't do it nearly enough on the channel these days, but you know, we'll have to try and work that back on at some point as well. But again, if you're dealing with an injury and you need to take some time off work, do it, and take the time that you need to recover properly before you actually get back into work again. Because at the end of the day, as much as I like the people that I work with, and they've been fairly supportive. In particular, my manager right now sent a message not that long ago with the friend that I was talking about earlier, going for a walk with the weekend, saying to take as much time as I need really to get over it, to get out of the house for your own mental health sort of thing. So I'm going to be trying to do that as well. But at the end of the day, you're really, when it comes down to when you get to the short and curlies of it, when it comes to an employer-employee environment, you're literally only a number to companies. So the vast majority of people, even though you've got those couple of people that will support you, try and help you through it, at the end of the day, if you become a liability to a company, they've got no qualms in letting you go. And realistically, I could see that happening. But for now, I'm not even going to let it play in my mind. I'm just going to take the time I need. You know, I'm a born driver. Like, I've been behind the wheel today in the car, literally 35-40 minutes in total between going to the doctor, getting to work and getting to where I am now. That's nothing to me. I'm the sort of guy that one night went out for a short cruise from where I live at up in the north of Ireland, Northern Ireland, whatever you want to call it. And I went out for a drive and wound up in Dublin before I turned and came back again. So I am not a stranger to long drives. So if a 35-40 minute drive is killing me at the minute, I'm not ready for a full week's work. But it is, again, it is what it is. I'm just going to deal with it in my own way and in my own time. And I'm going to do it properly this time. Because sitting about for the last 2 or 3 weeks, to the extent I have been doing, I have been piling the weight on. And any of the training, weight training and stuff that I've done over the last couple of years, it was starting to define a bit of muscle in me. It's all starting to go. I'm starting to look like melted ice cream. So that's the plan for tomorrow anyway. I'm going to take the rest of today, chill out, get this leg open up again. That's the whole reason I stopped, is because just with the uncomfortable agony of where I'm at the moment. But over the next 3 weeks, if possible, we're going to do as much as we can. I'm going to clean up my diet. I'm not going to be eating any junk. And we're going to try to do as much exercise as we can. Just home exercises, because that's really all that I can do at the moment. So little walks like this, get onto the stepper, do a little light weights on the upper body. As far as the barbell press goes, I can kind of do that at the minute. Just feel it a little bit in the back, but it is what it is. Right, this is going to be probably the longest video I've put out in a long time, so that's going to do it. Whatever you're doing, I hope you're doing it in less pain than what I am. And until the next video, stay safe, and I will talk to you all then.